Hello, welcome to Laura's Painted Minis. I am Laura. Spaced out for a moment there and suddenly it was time. But we're back, and this is almost done. It just definitely needs some more contrast. So I've got my dark metallic that I was using. I'm going to get some areas here that I hadn't painted, just so that if a person looks underneath, it'll still look shiny at least. Because when you're using metallics, you can't really just, I mean, I could, I guess, just take out the regular paint color and add in like a reflected light just so that it's there, but it's kind of above the level that they paid or are going to pay for. But then I'm going to take blade steel and kind of use that to kind of highlight some of the edges of the armor. Especially some of this armor does have like some kind of detailing, just faintly, especially on the shoulder pads. This shoulder pad didn't come out as well when it printed. You can see that it's probably supposed to have about the same thing, I'm guessing. And then technically the artwork shows them having like a sort of metal gloves, but there's so much metallics that I am actually going to paint it the leather color, so that will give something else to help add in some contrast. And then there's also didn't mean to do that. There's also sort of a undershirt of sorts definitely in here. So I'm going to try and kind of maybe even like add in like darker shadow color that I use for the undershirt to get into here and kind of add in some other things, colors to get some contrast. Can't remember if I actually talked about it, but I did not end up having D&D session yesterday. We ended up having like a blizzard here, and we weren't sure exactly when it was gonna hit, and basically it was kind of looking like either was gonna start a couple hours before we would have met, or was gonna maybe start during. And a couple of people live out of town. So that was gonna be not a good idea, especially for them. But even for the people living in town was not gonna be safe. They're gonna be it was there was like 50-mile-an-hour gusts of wind. And that was and light snow in the mix of that. So basically moments of where you can't see very far at all. So definitely not safe to drive in. All right, I'm going to use blade steel now and just kind of use it to highlight things a bit so that even because there is going to still be pigment obviously in these, so some of that pigment is going to still show even when the light's not directly on it. So that will help us kind of bring out the armor a bit more. And make it still look pretty cool, even though I'm not like really doing anything super difficult or special in the way of techniques. It'll still look cool when they put it down on the table. Doesn't mean I think they plan on using it, is my understanding in a game. And I also haven't been able to make very much progress due to the weather on our kitchen, because cutting the backer board, we need to do it in a well-ventilated area. So for our house, that means out on the porch, which is not really ideal right now between the winds and below zero feels temperatures. And also I can't even like paint up stuff that I had cut out because we've got what's called heat tape, to help keep the water lines like where they actually come from the ground and into the house or something like something like that, I think, is where it is. Like, I don't think it's an insulation. I don't think that would be accurate to call it that from my understanding. It's something electrical of sorts that basically provides heat to help keep it not from to help keep it from freezing. That words. And that is apparently on the same circuit as at least one of the circuits that I would need to turn off in the kitchen to safely hang things. So I really don't actually have that much. That I've got cut before it was too cold. So even if I could, it'd still probably be tomorrow where I'm still not going to be able to really do much. Which is a bummer. I want to be able to make progress on it, but I can't. At least not right now. But that's okay. I have these commissionings to be getting done, so Okay. Let's get started on the undershirt so we can get basically the last color added in here. Let me just stir this back up. Definitely got this thin down too much. It'll just be easier to come back in with the green. After I've painted it, it was kind of more of just testing out some greens when I was doing that. Where I was gonna, and also where I was gonna have, like, actually place the greens. Because they wanted to be kind of red and green. It's more of like a orange red and olivey green, which at least one of the things I was going off of that they mentioned. That it was kind of that type of a red and green. This is definitely more of like a glaze consistency almost. You can see that's just mainly tinting things. is kind of where that shadow being kind of almost a glaze consistency actually is helpful, because then I can, even though I'm using the same colors as up here, I can make this stone look a little bit different, and also stippling too. Like with the colors adds some texture. And I have not forgotten about what I said about the gloves. I do have the leather colors mixed up. Just need to stir them up again. kind of almost like it without filling that in. Go ahead and actually use that shadow as a glaze and just help smooth things out. Let's see. I think that's everything on the menu. Kind of be down to seeing if they are okay with the outcome. I'll clean up the base where I got paint on it. So yeah, we can get see. I think I'll save the signing and clean up the base for off streams. It's really not that exciting. Got a few spots left on the palette. And this one's going to be blue and green. They're going to be the main colors. So I'm mixing up a little bit of ancient oak into blue liner. Get kind of an interesting that ended up being more like 50-50. It's like just gushing out. It's weird. But yeah. So this is the kind of turtle folk druid. This is probably the one that's the closest to its actual artwork. This one's also probably one of the most detailed of the 5 minis that I'm doing for this commission. And it's hard to see without any paint on it, but it's got a net here around the waist. It looks like it's held together with a conch shell, maybe. Right there. We got some bottles, kind of a treasure chest, some scrolls, more bottles, and we got some starfish, kind of shells, probably snails maybe, but I mean, you only see the shell. Lots of rope. Looks like there's some fish. Yeah, there's multiple starfish. And then definitely some sort of etching. You can see that. I wonder if you can kind of see that there's some raised, like there's meant to be like etching or something in the wood. So definitely some interesting details. This one will be a lot like the mage the elf mage will be able to kind of essentially do more than just the two main colors that they want. When you could try and just do this all in two colors, but there's also a tetrad where you can do blue and be more of a yellow green, um, orange. It's yellow green, orange, and red violet. And be the tetrad. I will probably be like if my toddler gets up right at 2:30 or whenever he gets up before 3, I will probably end stream there just because we still have stuff out and there's not very many places really to be putting the tiling stuff. Trying to see here. I feel like normally turtles, have a front part, which it looks like maybe right here. Maybe down here too. Similar to the shell. And then we got plenty of skin to work with, which is nice. Now you can see those fish a lot better now. And a lot of other details too, you can see a lot better. Might just like, other than on the skin, I might leave the rest of it actually as is, just because it is kind of like more orangey, that the color of the material that they used or was used. So it's fine actually that it's can be seen a little bit. It's a little uneven there. I didn't really get any more done on that long rest barbarian because I was trying to catch up on the commissions. So I do like how she's coming along. She's looking so far. I mean, it looks weird without the actual base. Oops. Great. There's enough of at least on the skin dry that'll come in. I've added some more of blue liner to so it's a little less thin. This is still my base coating brush, so it's gonna be getting some things that don't need to be. It almost looks like right here is a connection between the shell and the front. Right there. And on the other shoulder, we just can't see it because I think it would be right there where the rope is. And this, I mean, you're not really going to see very well anyway, but underneath the arm. So just stuff some of that dark color underneath. You'll kind of be able to see the rope that's right there. But directly underneath the arm, not going to be much. I don't actually know if it's supposed to be like a druid of sorts. Like again, it's for the game. They're using it for the game Bardsong, which I don't know much about. But it's just easier to, for me at least, while I'm painting them, and to describe them to y'all anyway, or title it as a kind of druid. And I finally figured out the one mini that I kept forgetting of what it was. It's a bird folk. So that'll probably be the one that's like maybe the second most detailed. It would be between that and the mage that I already did. There's also a half orc. So yeah, as far as what's left to do, there's this, a half orc, and a bird person, bird folk. I don't know what they're called in D&D. I don't know what they're called in Bardsong. move some paint to the side. Get the paints out of the way from the previous mini. Let's see. One of these. Some of these I was also using on the long rest barbarians. I have to actually look back and double check. I do have it written down though too, so worst case scenario, I just have to pull it back down from the paint racks. Let's talk. Be any moment here, possibly, that my son, if he didn't fall asleep, that is. Let's see. So, could either go here or something right there that got stick. Could either go like really blue with the skin, or kind of more of the yellow green. Got the color wheel set. So we're doing this tetrad. It's got the yellow, green, blue, red, violet, and orange. Let's see if we can get it so we can actually see them all. Maybe it won't let me. All right, anyway, so yeah, but could either do really blue or maybe more of like a muted yellow green. And then like the shell could be like the orange, where the orange comes in. We could do like a light muted orange. I'm kind of liking those two ideas for him because the artwork itself actually shows his, well, it shows his skin with some OSL, which I'm not going to be doing. But like further away from the OSL, I can see in the artwork that it's more of a yellowish, that yellowish greenish, very much, I'd say almost more so. So I think that's what I'm going to end up doing for the skin. So let's see. I can at least pull down some colors here. Got some Grave Bloom. That's in kind of that darker end of the yellow green, so that could be a good shadow. that. Mm-hmm. I can't tell from a distance if this color is lighter or not. Not a whole lot. They're pretty close in value. This one actually just seems more saturated. Yeah, might have to think about maybe actually I bring in like a yellow to highlight it actually. Mixed in, of course, so we still have an actual green. But I don't think I have an actual color that looks like that. Maybe like much more muted. It's not. It's more in the green, I think. We'll have to see. I'll have to do a little. I might have to do a lot mixing for more of a light yellow green. A lot of my yellow greens are kind of dark and more like more olivey than that. So we'll see. But that'll be it for today. Did a little color theory talk. Thursday, we'll be back doing some fun OSL work on this Reaper promo mini. It's their March promo. So if you, I think it's still if you spend $40, you'll get it. As far as getting free shipping, that's the thing that has changed over the years. So yeah, I'm not sure yet what I'll do next. Maybe the shirt or something. So yeah. So it'll be Thursday, same time, 1:30 p.m. So I hope to see you there. Have a good day. Bye.